So, a bit of an unfortunate topic, I will say this. Inside the NBA, TNT's staple NBA broadcast program is coming to an end after the 24-25 season of the NBA. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal will be dispersing from that program. Really, really unfortunate news. So let's try to put a fun spin on it, fellas. So, and this might be a little bit on the spot, but this is what we're here for, guys. This is where champions are made, okay? If you had to pick in a cast of 3 or 4 guys to replace, or I shouldn't even say replace, to step in to an inside the NBA type of role, since it is now moving to NBC, anybody in the world, anybody, any personality, any athlete, anything, who would you pick? Barry, I'll start with you. Who would you pick as your new Inside the NBA panel?
Well, I would have Nick Wright to play Ernie Johnson.
Wow.
I think Nick Wright is a very, very clever, funny, just a perfect, catalyst host to be able to kind of spearhead that show. This is gonna be an interesting one. I would have Steven Jackson. I'd have Steven Jackson on that panel because Steven Jackson is just the wild card. So he would be the Charles Barkley in regards to just say what he wants to say. He's going to do what he wants to do. And Steven Jackson's a pretty funny guy. Like, if you really get past all the other stuff, he's really, really funny.
Yeah.
Kenny, somebody to play Kenny. I would like a guy like Rajon Rondo. I think a Rajon Rondo would play Kenny very well. Intelligent guy, can be able to break down film, make sure you see things that other people are not seeing because he's ahead of the game. And for a revolving seat that was the Shaq seat, they had a couple of guys there as guest hosts or whatever it was. But if you're gonna have one particular staple of a guy that played, if I'm going to take a new generation type of player, I would literally take Klay Thompson. I think Klay Thompson
still in the league.
Yeah, but he's about to be out of the league soon, right? Like Shaq. All right, so we're not going to put Klay. We'll put somebody else that's retired. Give me Gilbert Arenas.
Okay.
Give me Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas would be a great retiree, just, fun catalyst between him and Steven Jackson. I think that would be a very, very great show. They would have a lot of fun on that show. You're going to get breakdown. You're going to get IQ. You're going to get fun. You're going to get everything that you want to be able to have a fun, interactive, really, really, up-to-date basketball program. So give me that. That's my 4.
All right. So there we go with Barry's group right there. Nick Wright playing Ernie Johnson. That's an interesting one. Has he ever been a studio host like that? I'm not sure he has been.
No, but I think he could be.
So that's interesting. Nick Wright, Gilbert Arenas, Rajon Rondo, and Steven Jackson is your fresh new Inside the NBA panel. Man, you know what? I'm going to miss Chuck, man. I think that's the guy I'm going to miss. Who he played for? Oh, my boy. All right, Al, the crazy Knicks fan. Who would you take to, like I said, I don't want to say replace because it sounds too harsh for me. I don't want to replace those guys, but to step into the role of Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal. Who's your new Inside the NBA?
I'm a homer for Queens guys and New York guys. So, but I'd start with Stephen A. And the reason I'd start with Stephen A is because I think he comes as an established brand. And I think Stephen A comes with an established following. And he may not know a lot of things, but he knows basketball. And his contacts and what he's able to talk about and how he's able to break it down in his media savvy as an anchor for a new team would be where I'd start. I know Barry said Steven Jackson, but I think Steven Jackson is just a little too real for me. So I probably scale it back and I take the other side of that podcast and I bring Matt Barnes in. I think he offers a certain authenticity, and I think he offers a certain perspective and realness. and he'll be able to give you that Steven Jackson aura while being a little bit safer for people who may not necessarily be aware of him and aware of his style and everything. Like, everybody's not going to remember he drove over to Derek Fisher's house to go shoot the 5 with him over his baby mom.
Yes, they will.
The next person for my analytics takes, I'd bring in JJ Riddick.
Okay.
And then for my personality, I'd bring in Bill Walton.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
Bill
one.
Walton's like 100 years old. He's not getting on nobody's panel.
That's not. Hey, hold on a minute.
Don't hate. That's my wild card.
I love Bill Walton. That's my guy, man.
Bill Walton. You ever heard of a glockenspiel, guys? I mean,
throw it down, big fella. Throw it down.
John Wooden. It's really phenomenal, man. So let's compare these. So, Al, you've got Stephen A. I'm assuming he's the host, right? I'm assuming you got him playing Ernie. So Stephen A., Matt Barnes, JJ Redick, and Bill Walton. That's a great panel. That's a great panel versus Nick Wright, Gilbert Arenas, Rajon Rondo, Steven Jackson. You both make great cases, but there can only be one winner. And the winner is, for the first time in 8 o'clock spot career, Al the Crazy Knicks fan has come home victorious, 11,400 points. He joins the 10K club for the first time in his career. Al, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to get this W over Barry. You know, I came prepared. You know, I didn't want to have to suffer hearing him speak to me about yet another time he's won. So I'm just great. I'm just happy to be here. Happy.